If you're a mature woman, over 40, over 50, and you know you need to do your brows, but they make you say bad words, if you said yes to that, A, you're not alone, and B, you're gonna be so glad you're here. I got the newest drugstore brow pen, and it is amazing. This is the L'Oreal Faux Brow Pen, and I'm telling you, this will change your eyebrow game. Hi, how are you today? If we're meeting for the first time, my name's Dawn from Just Doing My Best. You can find me over on Instagram or Facebook at Just Doing My Best. I'm 57 and I am your budget beauty bestie. I love bringing you super simple makeup tips. Easy, anyone can do these tips, and I love to bring you affordable options to do it with. So this is no different. This is the L'Oreal Faux Brow Pen, and I love this so much. And what's different about it is if you've ever used a brow marker, there's usually like one little pointed brush at the end. This has two. So you're making two brow strokes at the same time. So you can make your two brow strokes and then your next stroke can go like right in between. So you're filling in all the gaps. It's so easy to use, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I use it. So let's get started. This is going to be a rapid fire video of a ton of brow tips. And the first thing I'm going to start with is I like to lay my brows down first. Now, my brows are microbladed, so they're kind of permanently like tattooed on, but that fades a little bit over time. I made this video here so you knew how microblading works. But even though they're microbladed, I still need to kind of fill in the gaps a little bit. So that's where this brow pen comes in handy. But I also made a video just recently about unruly brows. Like I said, 57. So all of a sudden this year, my brows started kind of doing this, where they're not all pointing in the right direction. A lot of things are not pointing in the right direction anymore. My brows are just at the top of the list today. So I like to kind of get them in place first. You could do your brows first and then put them in place. I like to lock them down with a product first because I find then I have fewer areas to fill in. Plus, I find that if I fill them in first, a lot of times a product that you might use to lock them in can kind of smear that, and I don't want that to happen. So I have my brows locked down. Now what I usually do is I put my foundation on, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to come back and fill it all in. Hopefully you were able to see that this is double pronged. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and start with my brows, and I'm going to start kind of midway in. I don't like to start with my first strokes at the front because the first strokes are usually like, you're not sure, your hand might not be the steadiest. So I don't like to start at the very beginning. And we want to make this part of our brow just a hair lighter in terms of strokes, not necessarily lighter in terms of color. And focus your attention mostly during the arch, because since our face is kind of falling, we don't want to spend as much time on the underside of our brow, because then that can pull everything down. So I'm going to start kind of in a little bit. And I'm not really concerned about making any mistakes because I like to keep one of these little brushes on hand. So kind of taking this and just kind of going out a little bit. One of the big things about drawing in your brows, so you can see I kind of overdid it a little bit, and that's okay. I can just take this and fix that. When you get over here to the tail, make sure that, your tail is going down just a little bit, but make sure you're not drawing your brows down. When you draw your brows down towards your ear, it's going to make your face go down more, or give the appearance that it goes down. Kind of go out like towards your temple. So you see how I kind of went out. Now, even though you can do two strokes at a time, because it's double pronged, I will often lay it down. So now I'm just using the bottom of it, kind of one stroke. So instead of doing 2, I turned it. So now it effectively is 1 stroke. And now I'm going to go in and do the beginning of the brow. And I still have a little blank space right here. So I'm just going to go in and make light little strokes to fill that in a little bit. But this just makes it so easy. And then you can take your little brush and you can just clean up any messes. Or if you get a little too heavy-handed and it's a little too dark, then you can take this and then draw that through it and blend it out a little bit more and make it a little bit more natural. I love the versatility that this gives. I think a little bit more than a pencil. I used to love a pencil, and then I find that as I was getting older and my brows, like I said, getting a little bit more unruly, and then you have some sparse areas, like I have a mole over here that makes it difficult for me to get those strokes over that mole. But I just find that while you'll probably need some extra practice when you're first using a brand new tool, I just like the versatility of making a little bit more of a natural looking brow using a pen. Let's talk about measuring just really, really quickly. So first of all, you want the front of your brow to be about even with the inner corner of your eye and the outside of your nose. That's about where your brow should start. Your arch, you want to line up your pencil with the outside of your nose and your pupil. So for me, that's about where my arch is going to be. The end of your brow should be line up the end of your nose with the corner of your eye. And that's where the end of your brow should land. So I hope that's helpful. Let me go ahead and put the rest of my makeup on, and then I have a few more tips for you. Let's talk color for just a second. But first, I would love to know down in the comments what your favorite brow product is and if you plan to try this. So the color I'm using is dark blonde. Aim for your root color, and if you're not sure, go for just a hair lighter versus just a hair darker. You might want to stay right in the middle of the color range and ask a friend. I find that sometimes I don't necessarily, maybe I might not make the best choice. So I could ask a friend, tell me what you think about this. Is this natural? What does this look like? And just remember, your brows, just like your eyeliner, they're sisters. They're not twins. You may not get both of them to match 100%. And if you get a brow color and you're just not sure, it's not like horribly dark, you're just not sure, it's okay to use 2 colors because our hair often has variations of color in it. So it's okay to use 2 colors. That's perfectly fine. I hope this was helpful. If it was, I hope you'll like this video. Consider subscribing. That would mean the world to me. And come over and find me on Facebook or Instagram at Just Doing My Best and say hi over there. And if you want more simple makeup tips for our mature skin, watch this video next. Go out today and be blessed and do your best.